Okay, so today's news. How's it going, ladies, gentlemen, Joker fans or Snyder fans? I don't know what kind of fans. You're probably DC fans at the end of the day, but welcome to a brand new kind of breakdown video on Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut. Today, we are talking about the very, very interesting news, and I cannot wait. Can't wait to read your comments down in the comment section below, because this is a naturally controversial topic, because as we all know, Jokers are very near and dear to many of our hearts, especially on this channel, because it's always an interesting, absolutely, well, big phenomenon when somebody gets cast as the Joker, and I think you can all remember Jared Leto wasn't really well received. I didn't hate him. I didn't hate him. He's not my Joker. He's not kind of the Joker I go for. And I want to get into how I felt about Jared Leto's Joker again, and what I feel about this news. But let's get straight into this. So this is being reported from the Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, you name it. Jared Leto, guys. Jared Leto is reprising his Joker role in Zack Snyder's Justice League cut for HBO Max. So long story short here is Jared Leto doesn't look to be done for his Joker role just yet, as Deadline can confirm the Oscar winner is set to reprise the role in Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is premiering on HBO Max in 2021. Now, obviously, as we know, officially titled Zack Snyder's Justice League, the director's cut is being overseen by HBO Max, which is financing a new round of shooting and completion of the many unfinished scenes, and will air as a 4-hour episode event series next year. Now, interestingly as well, shooting is currently underway with Ben Affleck, Ray Fisher, and Amber Heard along with Leto. I don't know what Amber Heard's doing there, really. I mean, for crying out loud, DC or like, well, I know it's kind of, I mean, it's still under one big label at the end of the day. Get rid of people like Hartley Sawyer for very old tweets. I mean, understandably, but you don't get rid of Amber Heard with all the... don't understand sometimes. And then essentially this is a really quick article because there's not massive stuff to go over. Leto's return is a bit surprising, as things did sour when the studio tapped Joaquin Phoenix for another Joker, which, as many of you heard around that time, did not really sit well with Leto. I believe that was being reported by insiders left, right, and center. Both sides were able to smooth things over and allow for Leto's return for this film. So what do I think of all of this? As I said, there's many opinions about Jared Leto's Joker. Whether that's you don't have a problem with Leto himself, but more the imagery and concept they went with this kind of very modernized gangster approach, or whether you just don't think that he embodies any form of Joker just because of one reason or another. Now, where I stand personally about this news is that I don't particularly mind. Of course I don't. This is Zack Snyder's Justice League cut. Jared Leto was a part of that initial Snyder verse, if you will. And it seems that they are doing more with this Snyder cut than what was even originally planned for the original Justice League before Whedon got involved in everything. I think they are just kind of, Snyder's going ham on everything he can kind of do, whilst he may as well do it, because this may very well be the last kind of tangible thing he might do. For those wondering about a Justice League 2, in Snyder's kind of vision, it is quite unlikely. So like, I think he's trying to do a lot of things. We've got 4 hours worth of, that is right, 4 hours worth of footage here that we're gonna digest. So chucking in Jared Leto when you've got Ben Affleck coming back as well, it's gonna give us, well, I'm kind of low-key happy about it. Yes, hang, draw, quarter me, whatever the saying goes, but I've always been, from the beginning of the Suicide Squad movie, say what you will about that film, it's not a great movie at all. Jared Leto wasn't too great in it either. I'm sure there'll be comments saying, wasn't too great, you're being too generous there. But as a lot of you know, whether you know this already or not, and you're still thinking, well, that still won't make me like him, David Ayer's Suicide Squad cut was completely taken over and made differently, and apparently 90% of Jared Leto's Joker scenes were completely abolished. The vibe they went for in the end was a lot different with the reshoots and stuff like that, and I've always been of the opinion that I wish we saw more stuff to Jared Leto's Joker. Even if you don't like the sniggering hyena kind of laugh, or the tattoos, or his kind of over kind of crazy, and that may sound weird because he's the Joker, but you guys know, if you know, what the common dislike is there for his Joker. I still would love to see more of it, because I like Jared Leto. He's been he's a very decent actor in many different films, and I felt like we didn't get enough. We really didn't get enough to digest enough of his Joker. Now, you may say we got enough of his Joker to kind of give you an impression, and I do think that is true. I used to think, well, I don't see really how we did, but at the end of the day, you see his Joker on screen, you see the way he comes across, his demeanor and everything like that, and you can probably make your conclusion and say, look, I don't like that version of it. But I'm still intrigued to see if that would have warmed up to many people who have that opinion, and I even share a bit of that opinion as well, obviously, but I'm just not as harsh in it, because I'm thinking, well, maybe if I saw more of it, maybe it would have come across a bit compelling. One of my favorite scenes with Jared Leto's Joker, out of any of the scenes he's in, is where I think he's in a helicopter and he's spraying that gun, just laughing his head off left, right, and center, and he's wearing that black suit. He's just, yeah, that moment was very Jokery. I don't know, it always stuck with me. So I felt like I saw potential in that crazy moment where he was just, I don't know what gun it was, he was just letting loose a load of rounds. Now we have him coming back to Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is very interesting. It reminds me of when we saw even the Joker card in that Snyder Cut teaser, which was obviously in the setting of like almost, well, yeah, the nightmare sequence where everything was crumbled and crushed. You saw Aquaman's trident, Wonder Woman's broken shield there, and a little Joker card floating around. So what would I like to see out of this in terms of scenes? Just, I would like to see Joker interact with Ben Affleck somehow, like Ben Affleck's Batman. I know this isn't a Batman movie, but this is 4 hours worth of stuff, so I'm sure that if they're bringing in Leto, it would be kind of a mistake not to actually get one kind of glimpse. Even, I don't know what capacity it would be in, because there's much bigger problems with obviously Darkseid and Steppenwolf and all of that ordeal going on in Justice League, but some kind of interaction would be amazing, and maybe we could get a reference from Jared Leto's Joker about the Robin that died and his armor is in the Batcave. Now, Snyder has already teased that Robin armor, even though I really don't like this, is Dick Grayson, so there was never really a Nightwing in this. Like, Dick Grayson just died instead of Jason Todd, because, you know, cliche-wise, this is normally Jason Todd who died to the Joker, haha, jokes on you, Batman kind of thing. So some kind of little tease or mock of Batman there would be wicked, and then Bruce is maybe just like, he just smacks him, I don't know, and just says, look, I got bigger fish to fry. This is the Justice League movie, for crying out loud. What do you guys think of this? Do you really think they would not do a scene between Ben Affleck and Jared Leto's Joker? I just think it would be so silly if they're both reshooting right now not to capitalize on that. I have no idea why Batman would come across Joker in this movie, given, as I keep reiterating, what is going on. But I'm sure Joker will find some way of worming his way into being in front of Batman, maybe. We already know, as well as in terms of the Snyder Cut from Joe Manganiello, if that's how you say his second name, the guy, it was meant to be playing freaking Deathstroke, that the original Justice League Snyder Cut ending will be coming. Like the after credit scene, you know, when we saw Lex Luthor and there was the boat there. Well, that was low-key meant to actually set up the Batman. I remember this tweet from months and months ago where he teased essentially Deathstroke and Batman at the end of Justice League, and now he said, well, basically the original end credit scene, which would have set up that Ben Affleck Batman script. Now we're getting the original version of that, and even though it'll probably never come to anything, it will just be the original teaser for what was meant to come, I still can't wait to see Ben Affleck's Batman, I don't know, just kind of square up nose to nose to maybe Deathstroke. That'd be really, really cool. And lastly, my thoughts are, you know, say what you will about Jared Leto, but I'm still down for it, because this is really, I believe, the only thing we're going to get from him, or as for a Joker, for the next X amount of years until we see a Joker in Matt Reeves' The Batman trilogy. Now, I'm not saying there's going to be a Joker in The Batman 2022, but it will be very likely there will be some kind of Joker cast for his trilogy, whether in the Batman 2024, 2025, whenever that movie comes out, and then the last film likely around 2027. I personally think that they should set up Joker in very Easter eggy ways, maybe references in the first and second movie, and then have him as the final act, the third movie's villain, or somehow incorporated in that movie. Now, I know some of you are probably going to say, but in terms of the Batman Joker, we don't need more Joker, like we've had enough of him. I say to those people, I get where you're coming from in a sense, and in a regard like that. However, don't forget that the Batman, the last film, is like 2027. We're talking like 6 years away. I think by then it would have digested and simmered down in your minds that you would be ready by then for a Joker and Matt Reeves' trilogy. So if we actually have to potentially wait that long, and maybe, yeah, sure, we might get pointers to the Joker set up in the first Batman movie very subtly, maybe even more so in the second, but let's just say it's at least 4 years at the minimum until we see a casted Joker, then hell yeah, I'm up for seeing Jared Leto give it another prod. Even though these are kind of little extra scenes, I'm sure they will lend some kind of, you know, quality to a degree that if they're thinking, well, we want to put him in this movie, we're not doing it for no effing reason. Other than that, guys, I've been rambling for far too long now, so let me know your thoughts on everything I discussed in today's video. Are you up for seeing Jared Leto as Joker again, in the same respect as, oh, it's not like we're getting a solo movie, but hey, might as well see him in the Snyder Cut, and other than that, it's not like it's going to really go much beyond that. I'd be mind blown if they did actually say, hey, yeah, Harley Quinn and Joker movies actually happening. That's probably not going to happen. Do you still really not care? Even if it's just a couple of extra bonus scenes, you don't want to see him, no matter what. I wouldn't blame you, because I do get it. He's not my Joker either, but I still feel like he can do something, especially if Zack's got full control here. He'll let him be what he was meant to be in the Suicide Squad, in this Zack Snyder's Snyder Cut. Like this video if you did enjoy, I'd really appreciate that. Subscribe for more little updates like this. Other than that, check out my past couple of videos. Join my Discord server, and you can support me on Patreon if you want to support the channel just a little bit further, as well as the join button on the channel. Follow me on Twitter. But thank you yet again. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you Jokers in the next video. Goodbye.